Woo! Here we are back one more time with another podcast of Who Closed Last Night, brought to you by Walnut Street Hospitality Group. And my name is Stan.
My name is Zach.
And together we're going to hopefully bring something that, elicits some sort of response, some internal warmth or something like that. Yeah, I know.
I think that happens every time we film.
Well, it could be some kind of warmth, but it's probably not the kind we want. But anyway, so what we do, here's what we do. First of all, this is brought to you by Walnut Street Hospitality Group. And Walnut Street Hospitality Group is the owner of some restaurants, some other businesses, some management companies that do accounting, that do marketing. And we really try to help the smaller businesses. We're not, we're not looking for the big bucks and the big bang. We're looking to help other people to get past or maybe where we are or, what we've been able to do.
Right.
So with that being said, our podcast is broken into 4 different segments. But before we do that, there's something that's very near and dear to me and I want to bring up, and that is, how do they find us?
Well, first, you got to stop what you're doing. Follow, like, and share this video right now. Help your friends out. Help your manager out, whoever you're working for right now. Maybe they can add to our podcast and what we do. But you can follow us on Instagram at whoclosedlastnight_, TikTok at whoclosedlastnight_. You can follow us on Facebook. You can watch us on YouTube and Spotify at Who Closed Last Night Podcast. And the most important one is send your Who Closed Last Night story of the day, month, week, hour, year to whoclosedlastnightpod@gmail.com.
Whoa! All right.
We want to be able to share your story, your experiences with our audience, talk about it, share your feedback, and laugh, cry, and have some fun.
There we go. There we go. Oh, I think he's making fun of me. Anyway, so we do this in these podcasts in 4 different sections. And one is we come up with a real life question or topic, something that we kind of want to get across. Then we give you some examples of what it is that we've experienced. And again, this isn't about textbooks or anything like that. This is about real life experiences. After that, we're going to give you what we feel is the message that we hope will help you to take something away, yes, point you in the right direction.
That's right.
And then we're going to share some of the comments that we've received and, the
backlash.
The backlash, I have some whip marks on my back from the floggings. But other than that, we're going to... That's how this thing works. And so with that, I think we're about ready to get started. What do you think?
Let's rock and roll.
Rock and roll. So today, this is going to be a 2-podcast topic, or topics, I guess, as you would want to say. And the first one, this
must be important.
These are important. It's like we the people important.
Wow. Wow. Pay attention, guys.
Listen attention.
Up. Follow, like, and share.
Follow, like, and share. And so today, for this podcast and the next podcast, it's going to be the 10 restaurant truths and their importance. And we've split it up into 5 truths this podcast, and we'll do 5 more the next podcast. And what we'd like after each of these is maybe you give us some other truths that we need to address on this podcast as well. What do you think about that?
I love it. Share your experience with us. Let's help other people learn what maybe we haven't covered.
There you go. And there's so much to cover. I mean, if you've run a restaurant, owned a restaurant, worked in a restaurant, you know that it's everything. It's everything. We'll just say it's everything.
It never stops.
It never stops, and it's never the same.
What I like to say is a journey, not a destination.
It is a journey, not a destination. And the journey makes you cry, makes you laugh, has some good days, some bad days, and then some terrible days.
Kneecap you.
Kneecap you. Yeah. So with that, we're going to start with today's 5 truths and their importance.
Drum roll.
Dun, da, da, da. Wait a minute. There's got to be that one.
There we go.
There we go. So the number one truth that we're going to talk about today is the customer isn't always right, but the customer is always the customer.
That should be engraved in a piece of concrete somewhere forever.
Wow. Now that's profound.
That is profound.
But think about that. Especially in today's world, there are so many
Karens?
Karens.
Ooh.
For all of you named Karen out there, this isn't really directed at you.
Not at all.
Not at all. But there are a lot of people out there that choose to be, I'm not even going to say a difficult guest or a customer. We'll just say that they choose to be that guest or customer.
That's right.
And, they might not be right. And a lot of times in today's world, everybody's got their thing that trips their trigger.
They're passionate about something.
They're passionate about something.
That's a nice way to say that, right?
That is. I like that. I'm going to use that myself. So we're going to talk about this just for a few seconds. The customer isn't always right, but the customer is always the customer. Now, what do we mean by that?
So if you're listening to this, you're probably part of the service industry, have your own retail store, have your own business, but that means you have a customer, right? And your whole purpose of existing and the whole reason you have a team there at your business is to service the guest, right? Or your customer. I like saying guest. But without that guest and or customer, do you even have a business or do you just have an expensive hobby?
Ah, there you go. So, and that's a good way to put it, because if you got a business, you want to be successful, right? You want to make enough money to make it worth your while to be in business, doing what you love.
Doing what you love. You never work a day in your life.
That's right. But there's always those people that got something to say, and they don't always know, and it's not really their job to know the angle or to know the issues you have or the problems you have.
Oh my gosh, I just remembered of a great example.
But it is your job to make sure as best as possible that your customer or guest leaves feeling satisfied, heard, understood, and maybe it's a great opportunity to build a loyal customer, a repeat customer. Okay.
We like to call that extra aloha in our businesses, right? If you can accommodate it, if you have it in-house and you just need to tweak some things to make that person's day, and it will make their day, right, with a smile, then we try to do it every time.
Look at this customer as a cost of marketing.
That's correct.
Right? Because they're going to go out there and either give you great marketing or bad marketing. And so think of it as a marketing expense, the time that you invest in them, whatever it is that you need to do to at least make them feel like they were heard, right?
That's correct. Yes, okay. Yes.
But it doesn't mean they're right.
It doesn't mean they're right, but you still want guests.
That's right. That's right. So that's number one. Number two is the customer has the right of way. Common courtesy and making guests feel appreciated is very important. And when I say common courtesy, I'm thinking about like when you're in a store, Costco, for example, which is like deadly on a Saturday when everybody's in there.
With your shoulder pads on and your helmet on, you know what I'm saying?
And you got to have boots that come up over your heels because carts run into them.
I hate when I forget my baseball bat in the car, you know?
Protection. So it's a common courtesy, right? I try, to my dismay, I often end up waiting at a corner of aisles forever because I'm letting people have the right of way. But to me, it's a common courtesy. It's like if I go to a store, and I'm opening the door and there's some people behind me, I'm going to hold the door open for them.
You're such a gentleman.
I'm such a gentleman. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is a common courtesy. Now, put yourself in the role of employees or team members in a restaurant or a store, and they're carrying a tray of food and they about run you over, right? In my world, the customer has the right of way, and you stop, and it takes them a second and a half to get by you, right? And
Always.
you put that smile on your face,
Yes.
and you let them have the right of way. I believe that common courtesy goes a long way with your guests.
You know, I would agree with you again, and I would say there's a saying that says common sense is not that common. Well, I think I want to say common courtesy is not that common.
I absolutely agree, and I think people say the same about you. Wow, he's so courteous. He's so nice. Oh my!
Let me pat
God.
myself on the back.
Oh. Anyway, that is truth number 2, that the customer or the guest should always have the right of way, and that makes them feel special.
Yes.
You want to cover the next one?
Yes. 3, a genuine smile is worth hundreds of words. It immediately puts people at ease and makes them feel warm.
I agree with that 100%. So,
But the key word is genuine.
yeah.
Is that where you were gonna go?
That's exactly where I was going to go.
And I think we'll have a comment later that kind of gets into that, but I would agree that it has to be genuine. You have to feel it.
You have to feel it. And, that comes from a couple different ways. One, you got to hire genuinely happy people.
You
right?
just took that out of my brain because I think the gatekeeper to a successful business is hiring.
I think you're right. And it's absolutely about the genuineness of the person. That's, have you ever been into one of those, a store or restaurant? They don't even look up and they say, "Hey, thanks for coming in." or they call the restaurant and here's the answer you get. "Thank you for calling in. And can I help you?
What do you want?
What do you want?" That to me is, it's not a good look for a business, first of all. But I would rather not have that person giving a disingenuous greeting or, a departure message. I would rather have someone that's genuinely happy, that cares that people leave happy.
That's the key, that a forced smile, forced manners, forced anything, we're all human. We know when it's fake, right? So this is all about a genuine smile, genuine warmth. You're inviting a guest into your home, or that's the vision that I think of in my head, that, hey, if it was Thanksgiving or whatever family setting that you're inviting someone to, would you just be like, "Hey, yeah, Park, sit down, blah, blah, blah"? No, you say, "Oh, welcome." You give them a hug. You sit them down. "Can I pour you a glass of wine? Can I get you anything?" It's the warm smile and the touch of family.
So I think one of the things that people get confused, like a lot of places have a script.
Yes.
"I thank you for coming to certain restaurant or certain store. How can I help you today?" And I think a lot of people mistake that as for something that's disingenuous.
Right.
I don't believe that that's the disingenuous part. I think it's the tone and how you speak it that either makes it genuine or forced.
Yes, they're checking off the list because they were asked to say these sentences to every guest, but they're not personally invested in making that guest feel welcomed.
Right. Do you think that's prevalent in today's workforce?
Yes, I think that I might get in some trouble for this. I think that manners aren't taught anymore, right? So, but I think a lot of this has to do with manners, right? You see someone, say hello, right?
Yeah.
A kind word is never wasted. And I read that on a dumpster 2 weeks ago here in Las Vegas, but it stuck with me, and I've repeated it probably 10 times since then. But it's so true. If you say aloha, good morning, how are you? You're already making someone feel special, right?
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of truth to that. Is a kind word is never wasted.
Kind word is never wasted. In the hotel world, they say that when you're walking towards someone, you should greet them within 10 steps of actually, getting up to where they are.
I like that.
And I think that's something that stuck with me from my hotel days is,
That's better than what I read on a dumpster.
well, I don't know. What you read on the dumpster is kind of profound. I'm not sure, why you're sitting there reading stuff on a dumpster, but
It was big. It was the whole dumpster,
oh,
It
wow.
was red light.
Someone took some time to do
Yes.
that. All right. Well, they put some effort into it.
It caught my attention.
So back to the genuine smile and the warmth and the words. That's what makes people feel comfortable, makes them feel at
Yes.
home. And I think that's the place that the first impression is the last impression.
That's right.
And I think that's the impression you want to have, and those are the people that you want to hire. So that one is number 3.
We still got 2 more.
We still got 2 more. What's the next one?
Hot food hot, cold food cold. Restaurant Basics 101.
That's right. So, having worked in all kinds of food service establishments, one of the things that I always appreciate, and it doesn't happen as much anymore or as often as it probably should, but when a kitchen puts hot food on a hot plate, right?
Yes.
So there's a stack
You're right.
of plates.
That doesn't happen much.
It does not happen much anymore. And that kind of, when I say a hot plate, I'm not saying that you should burn your fingers.
No.
But what I'm saying is when you put it on a cold plate,
Heat transfers.
and
It's like a little science, too.
Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. So not only are you getting this, but you're getting a science class. Okay. So with that being said, we think that as best as you can, hot food should go on at least a warm plate. And
Right.
I think that's
That's the
probably
best way to
doable.
say it.
Yes. And cold food should go on a cool plate or a cold plate.
Like a salad line.
Like a salad, right? Who wants a salad? Okay, so everybody knows this if you've worked in a restaurant. You got so many dishes. It's a really busy night. The dishwasher is late. And so as they're washing dishes...
We love our dishwashers, by the way. They're a big part of a restaurant.
You can't function without them, at
Yeah.
least not well.
Right.
So you get these plates right out of the dishwasher. Now, when it comes out of a dishwasher, it can be pretty warm.
Right.
And then so that goes right to the cold line, and you're putting cold salad on this warm plate, and it gets and then it gets to the table, and they're like, my salad's wilted. Your lettuce is wilted.
It's a sad salad.
It's a sad salad. No one wants a sad salad. So this is Restaurant 101. I think it's probably one of the first things I learned in the industry is hot food hot, cold food cold. We'll just call that Restaurant Basics 101.
I miss the buffets. We used to have the pop out.
Oh, yes.
The pop out plates that were warm.
That were warm, or the chiller, the plate chillers.
Absolutely.
Old school, right?
Yes, sir.
Maybe not everywhere, but a lot of places anyway. And then number 5, which is our last one for the day, but this is going to resonate with with many, many, many people.
The last part.
The last part, but clean restrooms always. You have to have clean restrooms. And I'm going to emphasize that last word, always. Right?
Absolutely. I mean, can you imagine what that says about your kitchen if your restaurants are a pigsty?
Or your restrooms? Yeah. So I think probably at least 85% of your guests go to your restroom at some point, wash their hands. They just came in. before they leave, whatever it is. And no one wants to see a restroom with dirty hand towels on the floor, toilets dirty,
Out of order on the urinal.
out of order, no soap in the soap dispenser, no hand towels, just dirty.
We're keeping it nice because there's a lot of worse off restrooms.
There are a lot of bad restrooms, but the point really is take care of your restroom, because that one is what people will talk about. Along with the food, along with the service, they're going to talk about how let's just say this. If your restaurant is nice, they're going to talk about that.
That's absolutely correct, and I think we can all relate to that.
We can all relate to that.
Going into a restaurant, someone's always, let me go wash my hands, and then they'll meet you at the table, and the first thing out of their mouth is some kind of judgment, good or bad,
Yep.
about the restrooms.
That's exactly right. So I'm going to just run down the 5 real quick. The customer isn't always right, but the customer is always the customer. The customer has the right of way. A genuine smile is worth 100 words. Hot food hot, cold food cold. And clean restrooms always. I think if you master those basics, or start with those basics, you're off to a pretty solid foundation in running your business, would you say?
Yes, please the guest. The guest will come back, and I think the environment that you operate within and you invite a guest into speaks a lot about the food quality, the service they'll get. It's a synapse of who you are and what your business is about.
Yes, totally agree.
The small details make the big picture.
You see how all this is tying together.
Wow.
Right? It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So one of the things that we want to make sure you know is how you're going to get in touch with us to give us some of the comments, some feedback that we're about ready to share with you from other shows.
Absolutely. And I think the first thing you got to do is, if you're watching us on YouTube or Spotify, leave your comment why it's fresh, why we're listening to it, right? Leave it in the comment section below. We'd love to address it. We'd love to share it. We'd love to laugh with you, cry with you. But if you're not listening to us now and you want to follow us on different platforms, you can find us on Instagram at whoclosedlastnight_, TikTok at whoclosedlastnight_. You can watch us on YouTube at Who Closed Last Night Podcast. Find us on Facebook at Who Closed Last Night. Listen to us on Spotify. And my personal favorite, share your own personal Who Closed Last Night story. It can be anything. We're looking for epic stories of industry people coming in the morning, and the first thing you think of when you look at that disaster and you flip on the lights is, who the freak closed last night?
Now, wait a minute. So what if they had a good experience when they come in?
Well, then it'd be like this. Who closed last night? This is great.
Either way, we want to hear about it and be able to share it with you. So today we got, and this is from some people, that the devil is in the details, got us a lot of comments, right? And here's 2 more.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So this person, somebody 1994, said, people forced to smile by their employer definitely don't bring the good vibes. And I think we spoke about this, and we called, what's the word that we're looking for? Genuine, right?
Heartfelt warmth.
Right. So we agree with you. It doesn't bring good vibes. But there's always a script. There's always something, a message that's being put out there, because every moment is a moment to market your establishment. And so you got to have those people that are putting off that genuine feel, that vibe that's like warm, friendly.
And we like to tie that back to the hiring process, because that person came in with that cold personality. They didn't come in with a warm personality to the interview, right?
That's right.
So that was that might have been a not actively thinking choice, but the employer chose that person.
Yes. And then the next one, same show, Devil is in the Details. And this is about, again, the genuine emotions that people have. No, it's not nice. I want genuine emotions. So, look, you can't put an ice cube in a hot glass and expect it to stay an ice cube, right? It melts. So make sure that your glass is hiring the genuine person, right? So you don't melt them down, or they don't. You're getting what you thought you were getting when you were getting that person.
That's right, and your guests aren't stupid, right? Trick no good. If you're trying to trick them with someone that has a cold personality and a non-genuine smile, then shame on you.
Shame on you. That's not what hospitality is about.
No.
And one of the reasons I think that, well, we're going to leave you with this, but we're going to put the word extra in front of this word and leave you with this for the day. The word of the day that we're going to leave you with is aloha. Thank you.